In Chapter 7, June is again scrolling her phone. She's made number 3 on the New York Times bestseller list, and when she tries to figure out who to call to brag about her success, she quickly realizes she has no friends. Paroxysms, a sudden attack or violent expression of a particular emotion or activity. Paroxysms of delight. Strange word choice to describe delight, isn't it? Attack, violent expression. Not what I would associate with delight, but to each their own, I guess. At last, I have to pee. Such class, such poetic depth. There are better, classier ways to say this. Relieve myself, my bladder is full, use the facilities. But no, Kuang decides to make June sound immature. Why do I need to know that June needs to pee? What exactly does that do for the storyline? Explain that to me. I'll wait. Straight into the trash. Exactly where this book is going when I'm done with it. June meets some other authors, and unsurprisingly, they're also insufferable. Publishing gossip, it turns out, is a lot of fun when you're speculating about other people's misfortune. Such lovely humans thriving on misery. Tentacle porn. I'm sorry, what? Is this someone getting off on octopi and squid? I hate this book. Anglophone, English speaking. Why didn't you just say that? Once again, big words don't make you sound smart, they make you sound pretentious. Incisive, of a person, a mental process, intelligently analytical and clear thinking. So the opposite of this book. Vicissitude, a change of circumstances or fortune, typically one that is unwelcome or unpleasant. This book is unpleasant. June becomes a mentor in a program for underrepresented writers. A program that pairs an underrepresented writer who can coach them through the vicissitudes of the industry. It's basically a racist program because you can only be part of it if you're not white. Now, I know June is white, but the writers who are looking for advice can't be white. That's what underrepresented means. Kuang is very pessimistic. This word choice makes it sound like the newer writer experiencing success is bad, so then June has to tell them how bad success is. I have seen this among the left, though. They actively discourage people from seeking success, and once someone does achieve success, they bully them and make them feel bad about it. It's very bizarre. If that is what you're saying, why coach anyone at all? What's the point? June mentions that Athena complained about the emails she would get from writers. My inbox keeps filling up with wannabe writers who think I'll spend hours writing them advice letters just because we have the same vaguely ethnic background. Based. Imagining you have some shared connections with a stranger based on ethnicity is just that, your imagination. Who needs talent, skill, or merit? We just need your identity. We need the least important part of you. Effusive, expressing feelings of gratitude, pleasure, or approval in an unrestrained or heartfelt manner. A girl named Emmy is paired with June in this program, and she is insecure about herself because she's Asian. She tells June she doesn't think anyone will be interested in her book because it's about a Korean American girl. I mean, a queer Asian girl? That's every checkbox on the list. What an incredibly stupid piece of advice to give. This is why I said this book portrays the nightmare reality leftists have created for us. Is your story an absolute dumpster fire? Who cares as long as you have the right identity politics? Oh wait, that explains this book, doesn't it? Emmy asks June about her ethnicity, which annoys June. I don't blame her because that question is stupid and pointless. What is she insinuating? That I can't be a good mentor to her unless I'm Asian? But also, June, you can't complain when you're part of the problem. Welcome to the world that leftists created. Welcome to the consequences of your own ridiculous actions. At the end of chapter 7, we get more insecure, insufferable, whiny characters that I don't care about, and now I'm drowning in race Marxism. Great! What a lovely book.
Racist policies.
At the start of chapter 8, June has come down from the high of her success. She becomes obsessed with negative reviews online. How do you get over rude shit people say about you online? Ignore them. They're not worth your time. Bullies are just insecure people who want to whine at you because they want a reaction from you. So don't give it to them. They're unimportant and their opinions aren't true. Opinions are not facts. Kimberly later has the nerve to DM me on Instagram asking if I'd like to be a guest on her channel, and I take some vindictive pleasure in instructing her to contact me through my publicist, Emily, and then instructing Emily to ghost her. Translation: a big podcaster asks you to go on her show, and you, knowing you're a liar, chicken out and hide behind your publicist. Again, why am I meant to like June? She's a coward and she's vindictive. Why are you writing characters no one will like? Explain that to me. I'll wait. Which was that it's centered almost entirely on men. Oh, this old thing again. So the fuck what? Newsflash, some stories are about men. Some stories are about women. Some stories are about talking sloths.
Sure. What's the plate?
29T.
Number.
These are all valid. Why am I explaining this to an adult? And not only that, why am I explaining this to an adult who is allegedly an author? Like the men were dogs that would break free of their leashes and maul her to death if given the chance. This is how feminists view men. This is how feminists write about men. When feminists say they don't hate men, they're lying to you!
What? No!
Would you describe someone you don't hate as something that would maul you to death?
How about no?
It was starting to feel heavy-handed, repetitive. Ugh, a lot like this book. June goes to a bookstore for a historical fiction speaker lecture, and a girl asks a question. June describes the girl like this. She's dressed like a right-wing meme of a social justice warrior. Dyed purple hair buzzed into an undercut, floppy beanie, knit arm warmers, and a dozen pins and badges on her vest proclaiming her loyalty to BLM, BDS, and AOC. This just proves right-wing memes are accurate. Leftists wear uniforms, and this is the description. Why do you think it's okay for a white author, I mean an author who isn't Chinese, to write and profit from this kind of story? Why do you think you're the right person to tell it?
Racist policies.
Kuang writes a second character who pushes her idea that only certain people are allowed to write certain stories. Like I said before, people are saying this. Leftists truly believe this nonsense, and they're desperate to get us to agree with them, which is why Yellowface exists. Are simply better at finding the juiciest morsels of a story, at ripping through bone and gristle to the tender bleeding heart and putting all the gore on display. Was Kuang a torture chamber employee in medieval times, or is she a zombie? She really enjoys writing about human destruction. It's disturbing. Who has the right to write about suffering? Everybody! Once again, we have to pound this idea that only certain people can write certain stories straight into the reader's face. June recalls a time when she went to a Korean War exhibit at the Smithsonian Museum with Athena. I thought this was a joke at first. This book is a joke. Oh, silly. You didn't think I'd want to stroll a stuffy old museum instead of catching up with you, did you? God forbid you step foot into a museum and actually learn something. Aren't you twats always whining that people should educate themselves? She could see through the grime and sludge of facts and details to the part of the story that bled. Nice to see that you think facts and details are grime and sludge. That explains a lot, actually. That museum visit was disturbing. Exactly how I feel about this book. I'd seen Athena steal before. Research is stealing? What? Why don't leftists like research then? They sure do love stealing. Athena never personally experienced suffering. She just got rich from it. Maybe Athena didn't have a rough life, but she wanted to write a war novel so she could learn and understand what suffering was like. Have you ever thought about that? And she wasn't even Korean.
Racist policies.
Here we go again for the third time in a single pissing chapter. Gotta cram that idea that only certain people can write certain stories down our throats until we suffocate.
Stop it!
Athena wasn't Korean, but who gives a shit? She went to the Korean exhibit where they have information, which she used in her book. If she had written the book with stuff she pulled out of her ass, like Kuang did for this book, then maybe June would have a valid complaint. Kuang spent the entirety of Chapter 8 trying to indoctrinate the reader with the idea that only certain people can write certain stories.
Lies and lies and more lies.
June's personality rap sheet now reads rude, fraud, plagiarist, insecure, jealous, narcissist, gaslighter, coward, and vindictive. If Marxists are good at anything, they're good at being consistently insufferable.